Gentlemen, good afternoon. Please take a seat where your name tag is. Appreciate it. University of Florida student athletes, please raise your hand if you have a question and identify yourself and your outlet. When you ask it, we'll bring a microphone to you. We have Ruben Chinyulu, Alex Condon, Micah Handlick-Lugton, and Thomas Auk. We'll raise your hand and we'll take questions. In the front row, coming to you.
The question for Thomas and Alex. I think you're the only two that have played, and this is going to be your third NCAA tournament on this roster currently. What have you guys learned along the way from, obviously the first round upset, the first year's freshman, to obviously the national championship run last year?
Just how special this tournament is. I think it's the greatest sporting event, that there is out there, and it's just super special. And I think we took what we learned from that Colorado loss my first year here, and just build on it. You can't take any games for granted in the tournament. Everybody in this tournament is a good team. They made it here. They deserve to be here. So yeah, it's the main thing that I learned from it.
Yeah, I think just what Tommy said. You lose one game and you're out. So can't take any games for granted. Obviously, we've been doing a lot of winning. We won last year, and we can't get complacent this year. It's a different year. We got to be hungry every game, and can't take anything for granted.
You keep on, it'll turn on.
Franz Beard, Gator Bait. This is for any and all of you. How have you been able to flush what happened in Nashville out and get totally refocused this week for this tournament?
I think throughout practice this week, just kind of realizing that although we were on a pretty good win streak before that, it can all turn around really, really quickly. And it kind of brought us back down to earth and made us realize that if we want this, we got to work for it harder. And so I think that we just took that on the chin and we just worked really hard this week.
I would say just knowing that that have happened, you can change that, but you can change what's in the front of us. So just focusing on being present and trying to know that you already guarantee one, so you just have to go there, respect the game and just play and try to put yourself in a good position, which we didn't do last game. So I think we feel that and we know what we worked on, and we are ready to go out there and play as a team and enjoy it.
For real.
Sean Kelly, Gators Radio. Question for Alex and Ruben. Guys, most of your teammates grew up in this country watching this event, dreaming about playing in March Madness. What about for you guys growing up in Australia and Nigeria? Is there a comparable sporting event that you grew up wanting to someday maybe play in, or maybe it was even this one from afar?
Yeah, I think for me, AFL, I was a crazy AFL fan growing up, Australian rules football, so I always wanted to play in that final game, which is pretty equivalent to the Final Four they got here. Started watching basketball a little bit later, and I think started watching when UConn did their little back-to-back. So it's just as soon as I saw it and saw the environment, it's unbelievable. Fans go crazy here, and definitely hungry to get back to that big stage because I've experienced it once now. So I think all of us are really keen to get back.
For me, it was kind of different because back home my family would be on vacation, so mostly it's like football in Nigeria, but I didn't get to do that. But once I started playing basketball, and in Senegal, stay out to watch, the NCAA game, Final Four and stuff like that. So, just seeing that, hoping, to play there one day, and doing that, trying to, do that again. So.
Front row here. Go ahead.
I was hoping to hear from them about their NCAA tournament experience. What was can you finish out that question, like your first kind of rush with the NCAA tournament? And I have one.
Like the first time, just memories of it?
Yeah. You're a North Carolina guy, right?
Yeah, growing up in North Carolina, I was a huge UNC fan growing up, and so, we would be in middle school and high school, they would put on the games during class if we had a study hall or something like that, and we'd all be sitting there watching it, going crazy during class, and it's just a dream to be able to come out here and compete on that stage that I grew up watching.
Sorry, Tom, what were you gonna say?
No, yeah, same with me. Just I grew up watching it since I was a kid. I remember the championship always being on Monday, and my mom would let me stay up that night to watch it. I remember Chris Jones' buzzer beater, some stuff like that. Yeah.
All right, well, Edgar Thompson, Orlando Sentinel, actually with my question. They talk about guard play being so critical in NCAA, and the backcourt has come along well this year. But this is a front court kind of built team. What do you guys think makes you guys so formidable up front?
I mean, I know I'm kind of work out with the guards a little bit this year, but I think it's just credit to Coach Hartman. I think since we've been here, he's just been amazing to us. You know, he's been an amazing person off the court and an amazing coach on the court. You know, he's able to transform all four of us into the players we are today, and you know, I think this is a ton of credit to him.
You guys have something to add?
Yeah, I'd say that our team motto has always kind of been the mentally and physically tougher team wins. And I think that everyone has to be mentally tough, but I think that we really take pride in the physical aspect of it. If you get hit back harder, something like that. And I think that we kind of really embrace that role and try to implement that into our team.
I would say, to add up to what they say, I would say just knowing that we know we all loving each other, and knowing that we're going to go out there and play together, fight together as a team to put ourselves in a good spot. And I think that's what we did, and I think that's our superpower, just playing off each other, enjoying each other, knowing each other's strength and weakness, and knowing how to help each other on the court. And I think that's a big factor to our success and to everything we're doing. That's something that I think that I look back and I just really enjoy it, and just glad to be among this beautiful group.
Any thoughts, Alex, on front court?
Yeah, I mean, just the depth that we have. We have a luxury, having Market come off the bench. We're very lucky to, have a presence like that coming off the bench. If one of us get in foul trouble or anything like that, we always have a backup. And I give credit to the guards as well this year. These guards came onto a team that had a lot of the front court coming back, and they kind of had to fit into that role and play a new style of basketball where it's a lot of throwing into the post and playing out of the post. So credit to them to being able to adapt to that sort of game as well.
Yeah, question for Micah and Ruben, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun. The touching again on Coach Hartman, what makes him such an effective coach of big guys, and how has he managed to develop you guys, in particular, any drills or anything you remember?
I'd say the way he goes about it. I think that he knows that we all have so much respect for him, and that's why we came to Florida to get coached by him. And I think that he knows how to coach each and every one of us personally. Different players require different type of coaching in order to see how you respond. And I think that he's been really good separating tough coaching on the court from being very personable off the court. He'll have us over for dinner and we'll hang out with him. But on the court, he's going to coach you very, very hard.
Well, I would say Coach Hartman, it's just wonderful working with him, because he sees you, he knows what you are capable of doing, and he's gonna push you to be there, because he knows that you can do this and there's no reason for you not to be there. So he's just gonna push you every day as a coach, as a father, as a big uncle. He's just gonna be there to make sure that he puts you in the right spot. You may not like it, you may not feel good, but at the end of the day, you look back and be appreciative and be like, yeah, I'm glad that he he pushed me, that he made me get better, he made me a better person, a better man. So kudos to him.
As the reigning champions, and repeating is done so rarely, how have you handled the pressure, or have you felt any pressure to do it again?
Yeah, I think we just got to take it one game at a time. There's a lot of expectations coming into the year for us, and I know I felt that early on with the amount of pressure and the strength of schedule we had really early. We were 5-4 at the start of the season, and people were second guessing us, just saying all these different things. Like they're saying now, we're the easiest one seed to take out. And after we lose a game, a lot of people are quick to switch up. So I think we just do a good job of using it as motivation. We got to go out there and try and win 6 in a row. So we got to take every practice, every game, every time that we're all together as a group. We can't take it for granted, because we don't know what's going to happen next year with guys leaving, going to the NBA, stuff like that. So I know I'm just going to take it every day I get with these boys. Just go take it.
Well, I would say reigning champion, to me, and I think to every other person on my team, that's nothing because like it's off the table. This is a new shuffle. We're in March Madness right now, so it's about playing, enjoying the game, getting your win, and moving, advancing. So running champion, I don't think any of us care about that. We just care about this present right now and this new group, or, trying to go achieve a bigger dream that we all have. So that's what we think, and I think that's our mindset, and we're taking it, approaching it each game at a time, and just doing that and enjoying all that and creating those memories.
Yeah, Chris Harry, UAA. Todd's not one to overreact. I mean, he knows you guys really well. You guys had some incredible comebacks last year. What has been his consistent message for Tommy and Alex, please, this week, coming off that game last week?
Just to get back to who we are, I think the problem we ran into this year, we were talking about is turnovers. And I think he gave us this one stat or something. I don't know how many turnovers, but we were like 10-6 in games when we had this amount of turnovers, and we were like 16-1 in games when we had this amount of turnovers. So I think that's going to be crucial, especially coming into tomorrow's game. We know Prairie View they're really scrappy. They're going to dig down on the post and stuff like that. So just take care of the ball, and this entire tournament, taking care of the ball is going to be a huge focus for us.
Yeah, I think for the turnovers, it was when we have 12 or less. We have that record that Tommy just said. So, we just got to take care of the ball. That's the main thing that Todd's relaying to us, because every time we get a shot up in the rim, we have 3 guys crashing the glass, have 3 guys in the paint every time is what they preach. So, we just got to take care of the ball. And like Tommy said, Prairie View's a good team. Like, we got to respect them. We can't go in just cruising. I think we did that a little bit against Vanderbilt, just expecting to win. These are all good teams that we're playing, and they're here for a reason. So, we just got to take it in our stride.
Yeah, Kevin Brockley, Gainesville Sun. Alex and Tommy, how have you guys grown as leaders during the course of the season? How important is that going to be to continue during this stretch to get back to where you guys want to go?
I think all the guys you see up here are leaders we have on this team. I'm definitely not the most vocal guy on the team, but I think, I just try to lead by example, just do the right things off the court, do the right things on the court, and I think that all 4 of these dudes are great do the same thing as me, represent the school well off the court, and then do the things that embodies like a good leader on the court too.
Yes, being able to, hold everyone accountable. I feel like, especially at practices, you practice how you play is what Coach says all the time. So we got to have elite practices, and then, if I'm seeing anything out there, I'll talk to Coach, plays that we can run, any defensive schemes, just stuff that I have out on the court. Just get the group in a huddle and have a chat to them. Let guys explain what they're seeing too. So I think it's just communication is key. Listen to everyone and just lead by example too.
Got about 3 minutes left. Any further questions for the student athletes? All right, back behind the pillar here.
This question is for all of you. I'm Ainsley Davis with Hoops HQ. But for all of you guys, obviously being there, making it to the Final Four last year, winning the championship, how have you kind of talked to the new guys like Boogie and Xavier and kind of given them advice maybe through this, coming into the tournament this time?
Start with you, Reuben. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll probably say, talking to them, just, letting them know that just stay in the moment, be in the moment. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Just be right there in the middle, and enjoy it. Enjoy it, enjoy playing it. You deserve to be there. You deserve whatever is coming your way. So we should just go out there and do what we have done all the course of the season, which is being together, playing together, enjoying each other's success, and every other thing we align.
Yeah, just to kind of build off that, I'd say that we kind of told them to just embrace it, live in the moment. Like, you're living like a little kid's dream right now. So just take every game day by day, and don't think too far ahead, because then you'll be out of the moment. And so I think that, these guys have also they both won games in March Madness before, whether that be at Princeton or Arkansas. And I think that just having us there to kind of just tell them what it's like to continue to keep playing, I think it's really helped them, just with their mentality and their focus.
Time for one more. Any other questions for the student athletes? Okay, thank you, fellas.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
All right. Florida head coach Todd Golden. Raise your hand if you have questions, and we will open up the questioning. Right here in the front.
Friendsbury, Gator Bay Media. Todd, how you've been good in the past at getting them to flush what happened in the past that was negative out of the way. Tell us how you've done that and worked on that this week, or has it just been the same old, same old?
Well, we had a really good week of practice. I think when you have a bad game like we did last Saturday, you got to use it as a learning experience and try to find ways to improve. And I think we did that. I think we highlighted some areas that we haven't been very good over the last week and addressed that this week in practice and competed really well. So my hope is that we'll be able to address those areas and play better this weekend.
Aaron Schultz, West 2. Todd, you guys were able to kind of get away from everybody last year in Raleigh and out on the West Coast, and then more obviously attention in San Antonio. But playing in Florida, an hour and a half from home, the height, the cameras in the locker, all that stuff, it's different. How do you handle that, and how have you seen them kind of embrace being able to stay close to home?
Yeah, I mean, I think any time you have the opportunity to play at home in the NCAA tournament, it's a huge advantage. And so there might be a few more distractions, but I don't think that's anything that our team can't handle. And we're just really excited to be able to play in our home state and play in front of a lot of Gators tomorrow night, and hopefully do what we need to do and take care of business to do it again on Sunday. But we'd much rather play in a place like Tampa than get on a plane and have to fly somewhere else.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun. Todd, it's amazing to think that Alex and Tommy, this is going to be their third NCAA tournament, going all the way back to when they were freshmen. Just the value of that experience and how you challenge them to kind of lead as you go forward here.
Yeah, no, they're obviously great players, they're great people, and they're great leaders for our program. I think they've been able to experience March in many different ways. Obviously disappointing our first year in the tournament, losing a really tight game against Colorado, and then obviously last year running the table and cutting down the net. So they've experienced a wide range of experiences and emotions in the tournament, and I feel like they've done a really good job of kind of leading our guys over these last couple of days, especially the guys that weren't in our program last year and the guys that didn't play a big role in our team in terms of getting them prepared to compete in March.
Watching Prairie View last night, what did you see from them that you found interesting?
They have a really good team. I think obviously Coach Jones does a great job. He's been there for a long time, and they're always going to be gritty. They're going to be tough. They have a unique style defensively where they try to get after you and turn you over. And they're old. They're mature. They're old. I think they play 6 seniors. A couple of those guys are grad school guys. So we don't anticipate them, being afraid of the moment or being scared, coming in the game. We think they're going to be ready to compete and looking forward to the opportunity, for this game tomorrow night. So we have a great level of respect for them and for their ability to beat Lehigh, in a quick turnaround coming down here. And, we have to be ready to play and do a really good job tomorrow night.
Reminder, if you're on the Zoom feed, raise your hand. If you have a question, we'll get to you. Any further questions in the room, please raise your hand right here.
I remember in Indianapolis, you talked about just how quickly this can end, and you saw it against Colorado. How do you guard against guys maybe being comfortable after last year, kind of expecting we're going to move on because we're Florida?
Yeah, we talk about it a lot, and I'll be really disappointed if our guys have any sort of comfort going into this tournament. And I want our guys to be confident, and I want us to go out there and compete the right way. But this is not the time of year to be comfortable or to get here and just expect things to go our way. And talking about the SEC tournament, I think that was a good reminder of that, and again, a great opportunity for us to learn from some mistakes that we made last week. So I believe our guys will be ready to go for this event.
Right here.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun. Todd, adjusting to another new arena, a bigger arena. I know you went through that in Nashville. How do you account for that? In terms of the shoot around coming up and so forth, and how you feel like you guys will respond to that?
Yeah, we're just going to get a lot of shots today. We had a good practice off-site this morning, so we're not going to spend much time, on anything too technical out here today. We get 40 minutes. We're going to get a lot of shots up and, hope our guys get comfortable. We get 20 minutes tomorrow at a decent time, so we'll use that as well. And, it's not like Prairie View gets any more time than we do. So it's going to be a mutually equal opportunity that way. And, it is what it is. It's, there's a lot of conversation around the NCAA tournament with inflated basketballs or, tough shooting environments, but it's also part of why we build our team the way we do. And we don't want to have to be relying upon hot shooting to win games. We want to be a team that defends and rebounds really well and values the basketball and allows that to raise our floor.
Does it ever seem a little bit surreal to you that, you were an assistant at Columbia and then working for Bruce, and in just 7 years, now you've already won a national championship, and you've got a program that is well on the way to being considered one of the truly elite programs in the country?
It's definitely, I'm really proud of it. I'm proud of the journey that we've had and going from Columbia, to Auburn to San Francisco, and just incredibly fortunate that 4 years ago I got the opportunity to become the head coach here. And, surrounded by great people in our administration and on campus. And I feel like we are turning into one of the better programs in America, and we're trying to be consistent that way and compete really well every night. And, we're going to keep doing this as long as we can. And I think as long as we continue to recruit the right guys in our program and have a really strong staff, we'll be able to do it. But is it surreal? I think it's awesome, but we worked really hard to get here. And, we're going to do everything we can to continue operating at this level.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, Gainesville Sun. The value of Coach Hartman, the last 3 years in his development, obviously best front court in America. It doesn't happen overnight, right? And the work that he's put in terms of that and how he's developed the guys.
Yeah, Carlin is one of the best coaches, in America, especially his ability to work with guys on the floor. But his secret sauce is his ability to have real relationships with our guys. I think a lot of people are good technically on the floor, and he's one of the best that way in the way he works with our bigs. But the reason why our guys play so hard for us, specifically why they enjoy working with Carlin so much, is because they know he cares about them. And, he's constantly there as a role model, someone that they can bounce things off of. And he's just a great relationship guy. And, he means a lot to our program. He's one of our biggest strengths. And, we've also done a good job recruiting really talented front court players that make him a better, big man coach also. It's mutually beneficial, but we're really lucky to have him. And, he's a guy that, as I said, is one of the better coaches in America.
Any further questions for Coach? All right. Appreciate you. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.